my mother and my little brother and sister to fend for ourselves. The good Lord, though, came to our rescue, took care of us, but my ability to go to college was that. So the good Lord again found a way for me there. I went into work study, I borrowed money, got a few scholarships, and worked my way through college, which was very character building. Why not? You don't realize how resourceful that you can be and how much of a problem solver you can be until you're up against those kind of challenges. So I ended up going to medical school, and right after medical school, I entered the United States Navy and did my residency in family medicine. I'm really certified. Still practice from time to time. Dr. Little and I were just speaking the fact that he's also a physician now in rehab medicine. But I served in the United States Navy in uniform. I'm very proud of it. I very much adored my father and my uncles who served in World War II, served our country in uniform, and I was happy to do it. However, I found out that the Navy does not issue Bill of Rights. You have to find your own. But I did that. I found a pretty little, not so much little. She's 5'6". She's thin, very thin. But a brunette with a ponytail who was a newly minted nurse. And we met on the ward while I was a senior medical student. One thing led to another, and we became married. And we were 45 years. We had 4 children and 5 grandchildren. And if I knew that I could have grandchildren and skip the generation, we would have done that. We would figure out how to do that. So then, at the end of my term in the military, I was interested in opening a private practice. And so I found a little town in North Louisiana named Henry. And so I settled there, brought my little family. We settled there. I started practicing medicine there, built my own clinic facility, and so forth. So after some period of practicing medicine, which I enjoyed doing, still enjoy, I got the entrepreneur, decided to start opening up some business. So I opened up the first Subway restaurant in North Louisiana. So we're now up to 35, and chances are, you get a Subway shop along I-20, and you're healthy, you probably have one. So we also got involved in another company, then called Mailboxes, etc. Today it's called the UPS Store, and I'm a master licensee of my company is in 3 states: Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. And so if you shop at one of the UPS stores here in New Orleans, we don't own the store with a master licensee, and we help franchisees, store owners, hopefully become successful in our license. We've also developed real estate and had a lot of fun doing that sort of thing. So I've been very much involved in starting businesses, but I've also had some challenges in business. And if you have never had this experience, you've never owned a business. So it's Thursday night, and you have a $50,000 payroll on Friday, but you only have $30,000 in the bank. I always get head shaking and nodding and all of that. I bring that up, so I can tell there's some business on right here in front. Somehow you get through it. So then in 2008, I saw the opportunity to run for Congress. I had great concern about the direction of our country. I was elected at the same time as Barack Obama. So we came in at the same time. We had many challenges. I fought against Obamacare, which is the reason why your premium, your full payments, your out-of-pocket expenses are skyrocketing because you're not just paying for your health care, you're paying for a lot of other people who are on the dole, sitting on their butts, doing nothing. And that's what I said back then, and I insist today. That's exactly what we did. Fought against a number of things. To be honest with you, wasn't happy with our own Republican leadership. Remember John Boehner, our speaker? Yes. Remember the choir? Crybaby. Look, the choir didn't bother me so much. When on camera he would kiss Nancy. I couldn't take that. They didn't want to show up.
It's supposed to put you the hottest thing on earth.
I know it. So anyway, a group of us came together in 2015 and started an organization you may have heard about, the House Freedom Call.
Yeah.
And among them, apart from myself, was Jim Gordon, who you see on TV. Mark Meadows.
Oh, yeah.
Who is the chief of staff in the White House, and, you know, famous congressman. Ron DeSantis, you probably heard of him.
Yeah.
There were others, but those are notable names. And I won't go into detail because we don't have time. House Freedom Caucus has done a lot of wonderful things, and they're still doing. What we see now in the decentralization of the Speaker of the House, currently Kevin McCarthy, is largely due to the House Freedom Caucus. So after that, I ran for a U.S. Senate, and we did pretty well, but John Kennedy won that race in 2016, and he's doing a good job for us in Washington. He had run, this was his third time to run. I just could not achieve the name I did at the time. But since then, I have, because having run that race and campaigned in South Louisiana for a year, a lot of people know me. I was first appointed, as you heard, to Health and Human Services, and then I went on to lead the Economic Development Administration. Then I served in the last year of President Trump's tenure. I served as his deputy chief of staff. So my office was here. Mark Meadows was there. Mike Pence was across the hall. Jared Kushner was here. And 20 steps this way was the Oval Office. And just an amazing experience, very historic. I served on the coronavirus task force with none other than who? Dr. Fauci.
I'd like to know why he wasn't fired. I'd like to know why he wasn't fired.
Right. Well, I don't have time. I'd love to talk about it. But anyway, and I did many other activities. But so let me move on to the treasury race itself. That's what's important. So we tend to think the treasurer is being kind of ministerial position of being counter. But look, it's going to get really dicey. Treasuries around the country. First of all, we've had recently, John Schroder, who's sitting right in front, has done a wonderful job pulling back on BlackRock. And trust me, this is not just something that's ideological. These ESG investments do terribly poorly. They do worse than all other investments. So also there's debanking of those who sell and trade firearms. So that's something we're going to have to deal with. And coming our way now is called central bank digital currency. And yes, the federal government will be able to have visibility into your day-to-day transactions. Now, they're not after the billionaires, folks, because they've got tons of lawyers and everything. They're after you and your small business. And they plan to collect on it. That's what the 8,000 IRS. So,
Excuse me, I have one question for you about the UCC code.
Yes.
They're trying to sneak in the digital dollar via that. And each state has the universal commercial, not universal, like uniform commercial code.
Right.
And they're trying to get through each state this amendment for that would pave the way for a digital dollar. What are we doing about that?
Well, I don't think, and again, John would be better qualified to answer that question. We're just beginning the digital currency process. Now, this is not cryptocurrency. This is a government-created digital currency. And the framework was begun in September of last year by Biden. But Congress has to pass this and put it all together. So we need to start working with our members of Congress and Senate now to make sure that if it does get passed, that at least it's going to be something that we can live with. But hopefully it doesn't get passed. So that's something we're going to have to deal with them on. Anyway, hopefully no one is in. Okay, so let me wrap up by saying this. I always get hecklers every time.
When you become treasurer, when John becomes governor, you go. I applaud John Schroder for standing up to John Bell Edwards Obama, telling him that the money, the unclaimed money, is for the citizens of Louisiana, not for his general fund.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
You did a good job, Mr. Schroder.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Governor. The citizens. It's their money, not government.
That's right.
Remember the way the Constitution is written is your money is your money. And you only give it to the government when the government deserves it for some purpose. You have agreed. It's not that it's automatic government money. Maybe they give it to you think that you deserve it. But wrapping things up, and I'll take questions if we have time. I am endorsed by the State Republican Party of Louisiana. And that wasn't a backroom deal. I had been working to get a
Thank God for that.
vast majority of votes, affidavits actually, from members of the Republican States. I'm endorsed by 5 RPECs, Caddo, Bossier, Calcasieu, Lafayette, and St. Charles. And I'm expecting to vote for it here soon. I'm endorsed by 3 congressmen, Mike Johnson, Clay Higgins.
All right.
So it would be a pleasure to serve. I look forward to it, and thank you. God bless you.
John, you did good work. Thank you for standing up to John Bell Edwards Obama.
Anyone else have any questions?
Real quick, you work with Brett Giroir?
Admiral Brett Giroir. I didn't. We were not in the same cycle. The people came and left the White House. You know, we had 4 chiefs of staff, so I was the last.
You would have COVID testing Giroir.
Oh, I see. Yes. Okay, thank you all very much.
It's work. Yeah. Yes, yes. Mine's on my phone.
There's also women's for prom. Sorry. Kind of good sometimes, but stuff like that. There's women for Schroder. Support John Schroder for governor. Followed him for many years and campaigned with him and worked with him. You know, when he was in the Senate, and then again when he ran for treasurer, and now he's running for governor. And you, like you said the other day, you cannot go into the internet and find any articles about him that would destroy his reputation because there are none.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's a pretty good, amazing accomplishment. I can't say the same for myself. But we're in good company.
Martha, you did a great thing.
Thank you. All right. So after serving 9.5 years in the state legislature, John Schroder was elected Louisiana State Treasurer in 2017 and re-elected in 2019. He's a former narcotics detective and served as a CID special agent in the United States Army. For the past 30 years, John has worked alongside with his wife, Ellie, whom we love, and would make a great first in various businesses, most notably in real estate, home building, and development. John has a deep commitment and devotion to serving others and has been a member of the countless services charitable organizations from Rotary to veterans groups. Currently, he has the pleasure of being chairman of the State Bond Commission and member of more than 35 boards and commissions. As a businessman, an entrepreneur, and a man of God, he believes government should manage its money like you manage your businesses and households.
Yeah.
He believes in transparency. He believes in helping to restore people's faith in government and the government process. You can actually get a hold of him and talk to him. He doesn't run from you. He doesn't run from questions. And he's sincere when you ask a question, he will sincerely give you the best answer that he can. It's very transparent. Mrs. Schroder is a graduate of East Jefferson High School and Southeastern Louisiana, so homegrown. Above all, he's the husband of 38 years, father of two, and incredibly proud. We see that on Facebook. Grandfather, beautiful grandchildren. It's my pleasure to introduce candidate for governor of Louisiana, John Schroder.
We'll find out in a couple of weeks if my daughter, who's 36 to 37, has not been able to have children. Her third round of fall, and it looks like this is a stick. And,
Can you speak up?
Those 12-year-old young ladies from Honduras, I'm not supposed to say. But anyhow, we're very excited about it. Look, a couple things. I am very happy to be here. Yes, I do sound a little tired. It's a grind. I'm not gonna lie. It's a grind, but I'm excited about the opportunity because I think I bring something to the table that everybody in this room wants. And you said this during your prayer, and I wrote this word down. I always seem to find some word that I grab when I'm speaking to the prayer. It's truth. And I wrote this down because we so sorely need this. It's truth. I didn't say what you wanted to hear. I said the truth. You elected me to go to work and do whatever was truthful. And that's what I've done for the last 15 out of 16 years. And just real quick, how I got here, you know, so somebody asked me the other day if I was a career politician. I don't know, if you call going to work, serving your country, saying your last prayer, putting bad people in prison where they need to be, then get married, raise a family, have a successful business, and then when you hit 47, 8 or so, decide, you know what, I want to serve, I'm going to run for office, I did, and served 9.5 years in the legislature, resigned my seat, which was, I don't know if anybody's ever done that before. For work city party when John Kennedy won the U.S. Senate seat. And I did joke, and this is to the congressman's benefit, I guess. I think the person has to be John to be president. But I was asked about that recently if I was a career politician. I said, no, I'm a career person who likes helping people. This is a devotion to me. God blessed me in Ellie, 38 years. We made it through college. I met her at Southeastern. She's a reason I don't live in Jefferson Parish anymore. She's a country girl, loves sitting in the country, and that's what we're into. My college outlook. Although you can't run from this New Orleans accent. Not that I left, but my dad used to own 12 rice on Canal Street many years ago. So I grew up watching cars. But it's amazing to me how we've spun this. If you're in politics, you're in for all the wrong reasons. And I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, all people I think go to work every day to do what is right, to tell the truth, to make decisions every day for what's best for you when nobody's watching. Because most of the decisions you make, nobody's watching.
And you've heard me say this, and this has been part of my campaign. I'm tired of the pay to play politics. I'm tired of the cronyism. I'm tired of the corruption. I have a zero tolerance for it. And when you manage the amount of money that we manage in Treasury, this last fiscal year was about 64 billion. That's what it be. You have a lot of friends. You know, I was reading something a minute ago, and I don't normally do this. My wife tells me I need to brag a little bit more, but I don't do it to brag. I don't do it to talk about the accomplishments. I do it because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're elected to do. I know what my role is. I know what my mission is. You elected me to be the treasurer and run the finance of the state, not to be a political backslapper, to get involved in every political fight known to mankind. If that's what you want for your governor, I'm not that guy. If you want somebody that zigs and zags, I'm not that guy. If you want some flashy talker and this, that, and the other, I'm not that guy. But if you want somebody who's going to charge the hill or get in the foxhole and not get out and make tough decisions day in, day out for what's best for you when nobody's watching, then I'm your guy. I've never taken a penny. I've never taken an illegal trip. Nothing. And I think it's an honor in today's world of technology that you're not going to find an article written about the Department of Treasury in any scandals or nothing. No lawsuits, not one. Now, there's certainly people who disagree. The left certainly didn't agree when I took $800 billion, first state in the United States, to take $800 million out of BlackRock.
Yeah.
And the only reason it became public, because one particular politician wanted to take credit for it and didn't realize when he took credit for it, made him look a little silly. I'd already done it like 10 months prior. We'd already started the process. But my point in telling you that is, you didn't elect me to go to work and pat myself on the back every time we do our job. But I do want to just run through a list real quick, because I just got this another something else that I'm preparing for. I'm just going to read through you some accomplishments in Treasury, and it's 6 years flew by like it was last week. We're the first state in the nation to move money from BlackRock. For those that don't know what that is, it's ESG, environmental social governance. It's just government's fancy way to tell you we're coming out to everything you believe in. And that's something like the tax that government right now thinks they know industrial. And I didn't defend this country only for the government to turn around and feel like I have to defend myself against my government.
Yeah.
But that's what ESG is. So when I found out about it, I moved the money. Well, I led that, but I sat with Treasury 6 years ago and told them that we were under assault, and only the Treasury from Georgia and Utah. I wish I could, not Utah, it was Idaho. And I told the Treasury to the lady, I said, you're now my favorite lady in America, and I want to win take Utah. And I already never stop. Because they're the only two that supported me when I blocked U.S. Bank, not U.S. Bank, Bank of America. You got to get it right. Bank of America from doing business with the state over their Second Amendment position. Because I've never, as a former narcotics agent and a military veteran, I've never met a gun that committed a crime. I got asked that recently in front of a big group, and it was a little bit of a hostile group. I said, I'm sorry, ma'am, but I disagree. I've never met a gun that committed a crime before.
Right.
So the question was, what was my position on cracking down on guns? I said, we don't need to crack down on guns. We need to crack down on criminals.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
I'm the only guy in America right now that can say I did something before Ron DeSantis, because they after we moved our money, they moved about $2 billion before to get my money. Recently, the S&P came out and took off ESG as a score for your credit rating. That was a direct response in us pulling money from BlackRock and put a lot of pressure. That just happened. I moved our rating just increased by Moody's for the first time since 2015. We ran the MSRP grant program. It was the first COVID relief program for business. I say the first because Mississippi did it and failed victimly at it. But we did it, and David Russo, I just happened to be today, one of my best friends, who's retired, and this is the difference between government and business. Me being a business guy, I realized I was asked to run this program. It was $275 million program, and the legislature asked me to do it. The president had never done anything like this ever. So what did I do? I turned to an expert, to David. How about you come work for the state? I'll pay you about a month, which he didn't. I had to make him send me a bill to get paid over FYI. He's a veteran boy, lives on the shore. But we ran this program together with a lot of different help. But let me just tell you something. $275 million went to over 20,000 small businesses in America. We started it and finished it in 6 months. When they told me I could not do it, we did it out of $275 million contract and started working within 3 weeks. I just had to sign an extension on a bid, a proposal for the banking business of the state because I felt like I did not want to make that decision for the next treasurer to inherit because I had to inherit my bank or your bank from the previous treasurer. Well, I decided I wasn't going to do that. It's a 3-year contract, but I've been waiting for over 13 months for the contract to be signed through the procurement division, which falls under the governor's office. Well, it finally came back last week, and I decided not to sign it, and I signed a 1-year extension because I think it should be the next treasurer's decision on who he or she takes the bank. And they got 3 guys running, so it's going to be a heat. But the reason I bring that up, it's only a $3 million contract. We put out a $275 million contract in days. In days. Okay? Government is so broken, the procurement system is so broken, it's not even funny. What I'm most proud about that program is I was told we were the first program that's getting all the money out. Meaning we still have billions of dollars sitting in Katrina, the 2016 flood, sitting in trusts in funds, and the money because the government's so inept, it just can't help get out of its own way. But one of the things I'm most proud about is the fraud in the program. When they first imagine this now, for those that are different, when they tell you you have to put how much fraud you're going to accept in the contract, in the state contract.
No way.
I said, this is the true story. I think
No way.
I said, I will not. This is true now. I said, I am not signing the contract and put my name on a piece of paper that says I'm accepting fraud. The long story short, the contract was stuck. The state auditor sat with me and explained to me how it worked, blah, 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 blah. So I asked, well, what's the amount of fraud nationally? Anybody want to take it together? I just tell you. 15%, 15% is a national average. So we agreed to 3%, a high postal weight net amount, to run the program under David's leadership. And I'm proud to say that our fraud, when it was all said and done with, came in at 1.3%. That was outstanding. And one of the biggest reasons it did, I've never been able to really give him the kudos for it because he's not with me that often. And he called me yesterday and I said, well, come drive today. David would sit up at nighttime and look at every application, every check before we send it out. That's 20,000 checks. I don't know if he looked at 20,000, but he looked at a lot. But guess what else we did? So we were finished and we're going through the the final list and the contract and all the work, this, that, the other. They sort of brushed through that with 1.3 in fraud, and I stopped it. What are we going to do about the fraud? And the postal weight net penalty, well, we less than half of what you agreed to. I said, no, wait a minute. That's not my point. My point is, we have these people. We have their applications. We have their addresses. We know where they are.
Yeah.
So guess what? Fast forward. I don't mind saying this because this is the truth. We sent it to the Attorney General's office. They turned it down.
Who is that?
Wasn't big up. Changing up.
Who is that?
Let me tell you
Attorney
something, if you
General?
don't believe in Inspector Generals,
Yep.
the state Inspector General took the cases, and in the last 60 days, last 60 to 90 days, they handed down the first 6 indictments, and we've now collected back enough money that 1.3% fraud is down to 0.83%.
Wonderful.
Nobody told me I needed to do that. It wasn't in the law or the contract that we need to do it. You know why I did it? And you know why I pushed to do it? It was
Right,
the right thing to do.
the right thing to do,
Right?
absolutely.
I don't have, believe it or not, I don't have treasury investigators. You're looking at the biggest investigator Treasury had. I would sit up at nighttime, I'd go to the office of the Capitol, so when your caller ID came up, it would say Department of Treasury. And it sounded something like this: hey, this is Richard, this is State Treasurer John Schroder. And there was immediate sign to State Treasurer, like, you State Treasurer? Yes, ma'am. Well, how can I help you? I said, well, ma'am, you accidentally got some money from the state. And if you wanted to stay in accident, I would ask you to send it back. So we gave everybody the opportunity to give us the money back. Okay? So I'm very proud of my staff, and your team, for doing that. For the first time, we finally got a bill passed this past session on financial literacy. Every child in high school now, starting next year in a freshman class, will have to take a class of financial literacy. Now, somebody-
Yes.
The worst innovation in financial literacy in America. So it's taken a while. I really thought the governor would veto it, but he didn't. And I think Representative Hammond for doing that.
We need to bring back.
There you go.
We, through the State Bond Commission, again, these are things that we did that nobody told us to do. Nobody told me to go refinance all your debt. We saved about $660 million since I've been treasurer by just refinancing your debt, paying attention to interest rates, and hit the timing right. I've helped save the locals about $377 million. We had the first Zoom meeting for a political committee, which was the State Bond Commission, which was called Zoom, that helped the locals continue doing their business, especially during the pandemic and the storm. We've been on a front line when it comes to using the technology that allows you to make your payments, because I do believe that if it's a legal tender, and I don't want to get lost in this currency issue with the feds, but if you have a credit card and you go to the DMV and they tell you they only accept cash, and you say, well, I don't have cash, and they make you turn around and go to the ATM, and now that license costs $36 plus $6 out of the ATM. That's wrong. Well, guess what? In Louisiana, we're about 80-20 cash, and we should be more like 80-20 some other digital payment, whether it be credit cards or what brought this all up last year. I was in a committee here when somebody complained to me about the DMV, and I brought it up, and they take in almost $420 or $480 million in cash a year. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of people. So I signed a banking contract, but I don't run the Department of State.
And there's no trail.
Cash.
Yeah,
Well,
right? I mean,
exactly. I mean, there's ways to trail it, but let's face it.
it's harder.
If you walk into an entity to buy something, you should be able to use what is your legal right to pay for it. And look, not to make it sound so simple, but if you want to use rice and noodles, and it's your choice. But as long as it goes through the invisible wall, rice and noodles come into the wall and come out of the dollar bill, I'll take it on your behalf. But we can't do that as a state. So we've been on the forefront of that. When I first got elected, we started one of the first transparency websites in America. Our unclaimed property program now is a $1 billion fund. What I learned is treasure, don't ever tell the board that they will. really exploded the unpaid property program to where we were one of the tops in the nation. But guess what? We were running out of money every year. So I went to the legislature 3 years in a row and asked a Republican-led finance committee that was under the thumb of John Alario, Senate president. And that Senate finance blocked that bill for 3 years. And on the third year, we went to a special session, and they had finally got it out, and they were now blocking it on the Senate floor, and I lost by like 2 or 3 votes. So I decided I had it. I was really ticked, and so I sent a message to the governor that I felt like I had the legality on my side, and I was going to hold $58 million, and we're going to have to send it to the Marines to the president to take it. Only a court would have to order me to do it. So I stuck my flag in the ground. We went to court. I lost the first round, which we knew we would if he got to his parish. And I was waiting for appeal. And then the session comes. But then we went to a special session. But one thing about that legislature, they are bandits when it comes to money. So I told them I was serious. And y'all know I'm a little serious. And when I tell you I'm jumping off the bridge at 8, you better show up at 7:15 in case I go early. I wasn't getting the money. So I get a phone call. This is a true story. I'm sitting at Superior Grill. The session ended at 6. We're going into a special session already. My phone rings and governor's office. Well, I knew who it was. It was either governor or his chief legal counsel. And I'm with the senators, the 2 senators that helped me on the bill, and they can see my phone. I'm blind, so it's sitting there. They said, "You're going to answer that?" I said, "No." No, they had, I'm not going to answer. After we're finished eating, about 45 minutes later, I called them to say the governor would like to meet with tomorrow morning. I said, "I tell you what, I'll be back in my office at 9 p.m. tonight. Tell them to meet me in my office. 3rd floor. Here's one of the biggest problems and why we need a governor who understands who's a businessman. Okay? No, he didn't meet. Guess how many times I met with the governor in almost 6 years?